Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video I'll be reviewing the 2025 Ford Explorer ST line. This is probably the sweet spot for a lot of people with the new Explorer. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Ed Kenley Ford here in Layton, Utah for giving me some time with this Explorer. I'll include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. Also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a turbo 2.3 liter four-cylinder that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 20 around town and then 27 on the highway, with power outputs being 300 horsepower and then 310 pound-feet of torque. Before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, in normal Explorer fashion, it's raised there on either side, which gives it a pretty aggressive look. Got the Explorer logo all blacked out, and then you have the new headlight design with this, and then the grille's also blacked out with this ST line package. You do get fog lights there on either side and more blacked out trim at the bottom, and kind of looks like a cop car, but that's the Explorer thing, right? Now around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 275 by 45 by 21 in the front and over in the rear. And you can see here with the wheels, you got this cool satin gray finish on them, and they actually have a red brake caliper with the ST line. I don't know if that's going to pop up on camera very well. Kind of. Anyways, unpainted fender flares, same thing with the trim there along the side. There is that little piece of black trim. And then you got your ST line badge there on the side, and well, here's the full side profile. Now this leads us to the key fob. We have our lock and unlock function, remote start, got the opening for the hatch, the Ford logo there on the back, and pop it open. Now popping into the rear, you guys can see there is not a massive amount of storage space behind the third row, but pretty typical of an SUV in this size category. And then we've got these little storage kind of like pockets on either side, then it's flat here in the center. And then you can see here with the seats, notice you can fold them down and raise them up. I think it's a pretty cool feature to automate some of the stuff. And as for the third row, I already reviewed an ST version of this new Explorer. They didn't change the third row for the 25 model year, so it still has the same situation where the floor here is a little bit higher than for the second row over there. So your legs kind of get pushed up a little bit, but again, pretty typical of the segment to not have like tons of space in the third row. Anyways, when you're all done, just press that and I will lower the hatch right back down. Now here's a quick look at the new taillight design. Pretty sharp if you ask me. And I like how that one badge is chrome and pretty much everything else is blacked out on this. And well, there's also a receiver hitch there at the bottom. Another nice feature. Now taking a look at the door panel on the back, you can see we've got a sunshade here built in for the rear passengers. It's actually soft touch here at the top, and then you got this cool red stitching with the ST line down below, and I like this trim around the door handle area. And then here are the seats. Got this cloth insert there in the center. And then popping in. Legroom's good. Got a little storage pocket. We've got our own climate zone here in the rear, some USB ports, heated seats, all of that. And then we've got some vents up top. Now take a look at the front door panel, same thing with the soft touch and the red stitching and all of that down below, and then this cool trim that goes across. We've got a memory seat function here. We've got all of our window controls as well. And then you can see blind spot monitoring with the mirrors. And then here's the front seat. Getting cool trim all down the center. Adjustments there on the side. Then you got this trim here, and then soft touch on the dash. Now take a look at the steering wheel. You guys can see we've got soft touch here at the top and at the bottom. It's perforated on either side. You got this cool red stitching in the center as well. A bunch of practical controls here on the front, including stuff like our adaptive cruise control. You got your volume controls, and then we do have traditional stocks on the back. Now take a look at the gauge cluster. You can see that it is fully digital, and it's got this cool thing for the drive modes. Not as fun as the F-150 animation, because it's kind of just like a little... It's still cool though, I mean look at that. Just different. But again, you can see basic information, like the odometer for example, how much fuel you have, pretty normal stuff. Now we actually have a 360 camera system, which is always a nice feature. Helps out with parking and all of that. Not a massive SUV, but still a nice thing to have. And then as for the rest of the infotainment system, you can see here with the climate controls at the bottom, and then also with the seats, we do have heated seats. They're actually set to automatic mode. Heated steering wheel with this. And overall, I definitely like this horizontal setup more than the old vertical setup they had. More nice trim here across with the dash and all of that. And then we've got our wireless phone charging pad here. And then you can see with the auto stop start, you got that for the camera to pop that on stability control. And then you've got your auto hold and your little volume control there. And then this is interesting with the little lid, just how that's situated. But you got more storage in there as well. Dial shifter. Got some cup holders. We've got our parking brake with our drive mode select. A little bit of storage right there. And the center console is pretty spacious. I like this trim on the top. I think that's pretty cool. And then we do have a sunglass holder, universal garage door opener, and then panoramic center. So here's our window sticker for this Explorer ST line. You can see 2025. This is a 300A equipment group. Got a few options, including the premium package. $54,915 is the total MSRP. I'm gonna try to do it again without backing into an Expedition. Yeah, there we go. Let's see how it drives. Visibility here, both mirrors have blind spot monitoring. Pretty darn good throughout the rest of the rear. Let us set off in the ST line. Like I said, I think this is the sweet spot for a lot of people, just because it's a bit more affordable than the ST. You know, this is what, $7,000 less than the ST that I reviewed. So you've got that part of it. And it looks cool, right? People want a cool looking car, especially, I mean, still, this is over 50 grand. You know, you're spending over $50,000 on a car, you're gonna want it to have some snazzy looks. So, I get it. Definitely get it. But, man, Ford's 2.3 is a good engine. It's got great torque, great power, and it sounds pretty darn good for a 4-cylinder. I got to experience ownership of this engine in the Ford Focus RS. That's tuned for a bit more power than this, but you know, still gives you a pretty good idea of what this is all about. It's a pretty cool powertrain setup. I will say also, these seats are pretty comfortable, so that's another benefit of the ST line. And the interior overall, I mean, it's nice. It's got padding here, so like if you're a tall person and your knee hits against the side here, which I know a lot of people experience that, you've got a little bit of padding, so I think that's a plus. But yeah, just the rest of it, it's a nice place to be. I think they did a pretty darn good job with this interior, with the aesthetic and everything. And so there's way more traffic up here than I thought. That's for sure. We'll get one more acceleration, then I guess we'll cap things off with the ST line package. Okay, I guess we're good to finally go. Oh, that's a cool car, GT500. Yeah, the torque is just so good. Seriously, just go and drive one of these and you'll get what I'm saying about the engine. This is, I don't know, a much more drivable engine than even the naturally aspirated V6s you get in this segment. This feels just stronger. And I can do some comparisons if you guys want. Looks like they got a platinum. Yeah, looks like it's got maybe that's a platinum. I don't know, the mirror caps are blacked out, so maybe it's not. Anywho, drives well. It's basically, again, a refresh. So if you already like the Explorer, then you'll like this because it's just the same thing, but fresh face, fresh infotainment system. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think the Explorer is overall a good car. The only thing that I'll really knock the Explorer for is just that third row. I wish they'd do something to make it so that the floor wasn't so high, so that you could have a little bit more comfortable leg space. But other than that, it's a really good car.